What's up, y'all? This is BK back with Cliff Pickleball for some more amazing content. So when I ask people what the most important shot they think is in pickleball, I always hear the third shot drop, dinking, I hear the forehand drive. However, the two shots that we're going to learn today is something that I believe are the two most integral shots in pickleball. Something that starts off every point and is going to absolutely change your game and take you to the next level. Let's do it. So this first shot is something that starts off every pickleball game. I am, of course, talking about the serve. The serve is the one shot that you have complete control over. You dictate how you toss the ball, you dictate where you hit it, and your opponent has no say on how you hit your serve. So this shot is something that you definitely have to practice and make sure that you're using full advantage of, because it is the one shot that you have complete control over. Now, there's a lot of different ways to serve. The most common ways are to toss the ball up in the air and hit it right out of the air. When you're doing that, you have to make sure that your paddle is below your waist and your paddle face is below your wrist. So again, you have to make contact below your waist and your paddle face has to be below your wrist. The other way to serve is to use the drop serve. This is where you simply drop the ball out of the air. You're not allowed to bounce it. Simply drop it and hit it off the ground. These are the two most common ways of serving. However, within these two methods of serving, there are a lot of variations that you can add. I could do topspin serves, slice serves, side spinners. I can hit so many different variations with my deep serves, my drop serves. I have so much of the court to aim at that I'm in complete control over how I hit the shot. So it's really important that you learn the best ways to serve. Now, the ideal serve is where you hit a deep topspin serve. This is what is going to push your opponent back, making it harder for them to get to the kitchen line early. What you want to do on your serve is try and put your opponents on the back foot so that now they have to run up to the kitchen line and they just can't use their momentum to get there early. Now, the best way to hit a topspin serve is to toss the ball and hit it out of the air with a regular forehand drive motion. So you're simply going to try and hit a forehand drive, but what you want to do is hit that ball with some height and some depth. You really want to try and get that ball to the back half of the court. So a couple examples of this right here are you're simply going to toss the ball and hit it deep into the back of the court. The way you're going to do this is to get good power on the serve is you're going to use your weight transfer. You're going to transfer your weight from your back foot, your back leg, to your front leg. So simply transfer your weight from your back leg into your front leg. This will allow you to generate a lot more power than simply standing still and hitting it with a forehand. The other thing you want to do is make sure that you have a slightly closed paddle face and you're going from low to high on your motion. So you want to make sure that you're swinging low to high with a slightly closed face, because that's what's going to add your topspin. Let's see a few examples. Here's a few examples of what an ideal serve looks like. You're simply going to transfer your weight from your back foot to your front foot and use that forehand topspin. Once again, you're going to drive that ball deep into the court with your topspin. That's going to really put your opponent on their back foot, making it a lot harder for them to get to the kitchen line. So now you have control over the point and you're going to be able to easily dominate the court. Now, the second shot that we're going to talk about is the return. We saw what a good serve looks like, but now we need to know how to counter that serve. So the returner has the advantage in every pickleball game because the returning team is the first team that can get to the kitchen line. So what you want to do is give yourself the biggest advantage you can straight off of that return. The best way to get yourself to the kitchen line is to use your momentum during your return. You never want to get caught on your back foot, which is what your opponent is trying to do. Instead, what you want to do is use your momentum to actually move forward while you're hitting that return so that your motion will take you to the kitchen line much quicker. The other thing you want to make sure to do on your return is to try and hit that ball deep with a little bit of loft to just give you that additional time to get to the kitchen. Since your opponent has to let the ball bounce, the deeper that you can get your return, the more time they have to take before they can get that ball back, and the more time you're going to have to get to the kitchen line. So the mechanics of a return are fairly simple. The first thing you want to make sure to do is give yourself enough distance away from the baseline to actually move forward on your swing. If you get caught too close to the baseline, anytime you have a deep serve, you're going to take a step back, and anytime you get on your back foot, it's going to be a lot harder to explode and get to the kitchen line. So what you want to do is position yourself with a good few feet between you and the baseline to actually move into the return as you're hitting it. So if you see that coming, if you see that serve coming, you're going to step into the shot, return it deep, and then using that same momentum, you're going to get up to the kitchen line. So once again, you're going to give yourself a good bit of distance away from the baseline so you can move in with your return and use that momentum to get to the kitchen line. The next thing you want to do is position yourself to overplay whichever side of your return that you feel more comfortable. So if you feel more comfortable hitting a forehand return, stand closer to the middle of the court so that you take more returns on your forehand side. And if you feel more comfortable returning on your backhand, stand further away to the right side where you can return more balls on your backhand. This will allow you to hit the shot that you prefer versus having your opponent force you to hit a certain type of shot. The last thing you want to do is make sure that that return goes nice and deep. Any short return will have that ball come back quickly, and if that ball is coming back quickly, that means you don't have enough time to get to the kitchen line. The best way to do this is to try and hit a topspin return or a floating slice return. So a nice topspin return will help you get that ball deep and bounce the ball backward. That's going to push your opponent on their back foot since they have to allow the ball to bounce, while a nice floating slice return will add a lot of backspin, which will make it harder for them to control a drop shot, and the height on the shot will give you more time to move up to the kitchen line. Now, the mechanics of the actual shot is very similar to your ground strokes. The way you're going to hit a forehand return is a nice topspin return or a slice return. For a topspin return, you're going to hold your paddle face slightly closed, and you're going to go from low to high to generate topspin while pushing that ball through with your momentum. So you're going to run in, closed face, low to high, push that ball through with your momentum, and use that momentum to get up to the kitchen line. For a slice return, you're going to try and hold it with a continental grip, and with that continental grip, you're going to hold it with a slightly open face, and with that open face, you're going to go with a high to low motion, but you're going to end with a U swing. So your swing is going to look like a U shape where you're starting high, getting low at the point of contact, and then coming back up to generate that extra loft on the ball to give you time to get to the kitchen line. So once again, slightly open face, wait for the point of contact, go through the ball, and then follow through upwards so you get that nice little loft while adding the backspin with your swing. So as you saw there, I used my momentum on the swing to get up to the kitchen line as quickly as I could. I also tried to hit that return nice and deep. That made my opponent stay at the baseline, which makes it a lot harder for them to hit that third shot. As you can see, a good topspin return also has some kick on it that'll bounce the ball and then take it further away from them. And there you have it. That's how you hit the ideal return. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something from that video and really take that serve and return to enhance your game and take you to the next level. As always, I've been BK. Follow me at BK_Pickleball on Instagram and YouTube, and also make sure to subscribe to Cliff Pickleball. Until next time, I've been BK.